Okay, so welcome everyone. Today we are having a very special session. It's about are you sabotaging your success? So it's the first session this month, and another one is going to be on Saturday. So if you would like to come back for a repetition bit, you can always come back and register on for Saturday. Welcome everyone. It's really good to have you here. For those of you who have registered, as you know already, and could not participate, you're gonna get a copy, a video recording of this session. So basically, if anybody has any questions, so for those of you who are logged in live, if you have any questions, please raise your hand or just unmute yourself. So I'm gonna mute everyone. Everybody's muted already for the background noise, which is fantastic. Everybody knows the rules already, which is great. So if you do guys have a question, just unmute yourself and then I'll answer your questions. Otherwise, I'm just gonna keep going like everything is perfect, and I hope you're gonna enjoy it today. So are you sabotaging your success? This is a very interesting topic, and I'm gonna be asking a few questions as we go along. So be ready and don't be shy, just answer it whatever you think. There's no wrong answer. It's just what you think, where you are, and every answer is always interesting. Okay, so please share with any thoughts that you may have. For those of you who don't know me yet, a little bit about me. So my background used to be finance, so I've spent a few years in corporate companies working in financial world, working for a few different companies, and until the moment when I just sort of felt like I'm not getting what I wanted in my life. So what I wanted was time and money, freedom, and I didn't get that. Also, I felt like I wanted to do something meaningful, and I felt like I was doing the work that did not bring me any sort of fulfillment. So that did not feel good either. I just felt like I'm sort of like a robot, right? So I was really looking for that purpose. So what happened then? I made a decision. I have made a decision that I wanted to change something, right? So as you guys may know, everything starts from a decision. When you make that decision that you don't really like what you're getting in your life, so that could be anything. That could be income, that could be perhaps the level of your relationships, that could be your health, or anything that there is. If you are honest with yourself and you look around, you look at your results, and you just say to yourself, I don't like what I see, that's the first step for you to make that change, becoming aware that there is a chance to change. And then the second step is make that decision. It's all about making decisions, right? So that's what happened to me a few years ago. I made a decision that I had to and I wanted to change something in my life. So basically what happened, I got a mentor. So I've contacted Bob Proctor in Proctor Gallagher Institute. As for those of you who might have heard about Bob Proctor, he is the best teacher on human potential and growth. He's been teaching the topic for almost 60 years. And before I've actually contacted him, I was studying about human behavior for many years because that was a part of my interest. How many of you guys logged in here? Hello, Susanna. Welcome to our session today. How many of you have been interested in the topic of human behavior and growth? Yes, awesome. So how long have you been studying this topic for?
Right, a year and a half, 2 years.
A year and a half. Awesome. Okay. And would you say that it's just getting better? Would you say that every time when you keep reading or keep learning, your awareness keeps growing?
Definitely, yeah.
Awesome. That's what happened.
Without a doubt.
Pardon?
Without a doubt.
Yeah. And that's exactly what happened to me. I was studying, I was learning, but yet I didn't get the results I wanted. So I thought, if I want a big change, a proper change, I gotta go to the best. I've done my research. I've I used to read Bob's books. I followed him on YouTube. So I kind of studied a lot before that, before contacting him. But even though I knew all that information, things were not working for me, which was quite frustrating. So I thought, okay, let's see if he can change that. If I'm going to change something in my life, I want to go to someone who has achieved what I want. And as you read about Bob Proctor, like any other person who is very successful, he has actually gone through that huge change. He was broke and unhappy at the age of 26. He didn't know what he wanted. He was in debt more than he was earning yearly income. So, and then he made it happen. Within a year, everything has changed in his life. So you always want to follow someone who has demonstrated already that success that you are after, right? And this is the time where you know that whatever they advise you on, it's proven. So if you ever make a decision, don't listen to your friends, family, or perhaps neighbors, and don't ask them for an advice if you look at their life and you think they're not making it happen. Why? Because they're going to be advising you based on their own limitations. So think about it, guys. If, for example, in the past, you maybe had an idea like, changing your jobs, or maybe opening up a business, and you wanted to ask someone, hey, what do you think? What people say, they always say whatever they've experienced. They say, well, most businesses fail. What if it doesn't work out? What if, where are you going to get the money from? Where are you going to get the time from? All these questions are not what's going to happen to you, but all these questions or statements are actually from people, whatever they've experienced themselves. So they are talking from their own limiting beliefs. Okay, so once again, if you ever want to achieve or change something in your life and you decide to take an advice from someone, go after someone who has demonstrated that success, because that's the person who is saying to you, I've done it, I know how to do it, and then I can advise you on. So that's pretty much where I went. I went to the best guy out there who is teaching about that topic for almost 60 years. So for those of you who know him, you know what I'm talking about. And basically what happened since then, my life has changed dramatically. I mean, these are just a few feedbacks from my clients. So my clients obviously, so because the teaching, the information changed my life, I absolutely fell in love with the information. And I can't even describe to you what a huge impact it had on my life. So it's changed my income, I've changed careers. My personal life changed as well. I've started thinking differently. I started doing things in a different way. I've changed certain perception about myself, people, and things around me. And guess what? Things and people around me changed too. That reflected my change. The external circumstances reflected my change. So that actually made me to realize this information is absolutely powerful, and I love to pass it on. I just want everybody who is interested in personal growth or achieving bigger goals, setting bigger goals, they got to know this information. So I actually started to teach that information using one of Bob's programs, the best program out there. And since then, everything is just a different scenario in my life. I've been working with amazing clients. They are very motivating. They're very inspiring. So actually it works both ways. So these are just few feedbacks from my clients. So obviously productivity increases when you know how to do things in a certain way, when you start understanding how to use your potential in a better way, when you really learn how to think in a creative way, things for you change. But I'm gonna go back to it in a few minutes later on. So basically, if you want to change anything in your life, and what I mean by that, any result in your life, who would like to do that? You can put a yes in the chat box for those of you who are present online. So you can say a yes if you do want to change something or improve things in your life. For those of you who are watching this as a recording, you can answer it to yourself, obviously, okay? So just think about it for a second. Is there anything, any area that you want to change or improve in your life? Think about it now. If you're not going to think about it now, you're never going to think about it. And I'll tell you why later on. So I've got a few yeses, which is fantastic. So I'm guessing that you're here because you do want to change something. You want to improve something. You feel that there is something more out there. And that's the truth. So what to do in order to get that change? What you have to do is basically you have to understand your mind. So what I wanted to talk about today is the power of your mind. So before we go into it, I wanted to compare your mind to the most amazing man ever made machine out there. So computer, I wanted to compare your mind to a computer. Some of you may know that an average computer these days can hold 250,000 pictures, 20,000 songs, and hundreds of full-length films. And these days, we can probably have it all on a little USB stick. So it's quite powerful, isn't it? You can just nod, so I can see your heads, okay? I can see that you're actually listening to it. So now, when you think about your mind performs 10 quadrillion operations per second without you even knowing it. Did you guys know that? Kind of, maybe. I mean, so many zeros, right? So this is powerful. 10 quadrillion information and operations per second. Few people say, yes, it's infinite. Absolutely, it's infinite. Our mind is infinite. So now when you think about it, what actually has an impact? What has an impact on your blood flowing through your veins right now? And having a perfect pressure to keep you alive. Right now, when you think about it, what's making it happen? Also, what has the control over your heartbeat? Do you think that you're consciously telling your heart right now to beat? Okay, I've got an answer here. Lovely, I love it. So what also makes your body temperature at the perfect temperature to keep you alive? So for those of you who are listening, just think about it. What is having control over all these amazing operations right now as we are here? And I've had an answer, so really one good one for those of you who are online live. I have a really good group. Let me chat box is full of awesome information, good stuff. So the truth is your subconscious mind. So thank you, Tim, for that answer. That was really good. So your subconscious mind is controlling all these without you even knowing it. It's absolutely powerful beyond your imagination. And even though your subconscious mind is so powerful, so amazing, it has one limitation. What sort of limitation it has? On top of all these amazing operations that it does per second, 10 quadrillion operations per second, it has one limitation. What is that? Who knows? Anybody knows? Yes, no, not really, maybe. Let me see, I've got an answer here. It holds a paradigm. Interesting, but it's not the answer I'm looking for. But good guess, very good guess. One limitation, but you're very, very close, Tim. So one limitation is it cannot distinguish between what's real and what's imagined, or what's real and something that you just think about. It has no idea. It cannot distinguish between the two. When you have a nightmare, what happens? You wake up sweaty, your heart is pounding, you're scared beyond the words. You almost feel like you've been there, right? Even though in real world, you are not in real danger at all. So it all happened. So your body reacted to it, to that nightmare, like as it already happened. So your body reacted in every single way, right? So you felt that, you sweated, your heart increased. So it was all because of this happened in your imagination. There was another study, you perhaps heard about that one, when a group of doctors took a top athlete and they connected him to the machine, and he was an athlete, so he was one of the top runners, and they said, think about running without moving a muscle. Think about running. Think like you're competing in a race. And the machine picked up the same muscle fibers fired off as if the person, the athlete, was actually running. So he was just thinking about running. He was just seeing himself running. And that machine picked the same muscle fibers that fired off as if he was running in reality. And that happened only because he was just thinking about it. The power of thought, absolutely amazing. So the truth is, whatever belief you hold in your mind, in your subconscious mind, will become your reality. I really want you to think about it on a deeper level. Use your imagination right now. This is huge. Whatever belief you hold in your subconscious mind will become your reality. So let's talk about beliefs. What sort of beliefs we have? You can, guys, either answer in the chat box, or you can just unmute yourself and let me know. What sort of beliefs do we have? Give me some example, please. Hey, anybody? What sort of beliefs do we operate with? Do we believe that we have to work hard to earn a lot of money? Yes, maybe no. For those of you who may be reading more or who've done certain trainings or seminars, perhaps you now don't believe it. But years ago, right, when we were growing up, not anymore, Tim says. Yes, absolutely. I'm the same, Tim. I used to believe that I need to work hard to earn a lot of money. Not anymore. That's one of the beliefs we grew up with. What else? What other beliefs do we have? What other beliefs do we have? Anybody else? What beliefs do we grow up with? You gotta finish a good university to get a good job. You gotta have a really good education to get a good job, right? That's also one of the beliefs. You have to be very smart to get paid well. That's also a very common belief. We aren't good enough. Yes, that's another belief, absolutely. So many people stop themselves from going after what they truly want because they feel that they're not good enough, but they're not ready, perhaps. Even opening up your own business. So, for example, you had a business idea, or maybe you wanted to quit your job or change your job. So many people are stopped because of that limiting belief in themselves. They feel that perhaps they're not good enough. They feel that perhaps they don't have enough experience. So all these beliefs are not even yours. That's the shocking part. All these beliefs that we have in our subconscious mind, it's not even yours. They are passed from generation to generation. And also those beliefs are created at a very young age. So wherever you grew up, surrounded by certain people or certain society, and it's pretty much 90% of population that lives that way, so lives with limiting beliefs. All this that we were exposed to, it gets into our subconscious mind and creates certain beliefs. So for example, on the other hand, do you believe that you can create your own economy? Yes or no? Let me know in the chat box. Do you believe that you can create your own economy? I do now. Awesome. What about other guys? Susanna, Pat, are you here with me? Are you guys here with me? Let me know in the chat box. Do you believe that you can create your own economy? Pat, what do you mean by economy? Okay, good question. So economy is basically your own income. So do you believe that you can create your own income? It's not just depending that economy right now is going down because this is what the news say. I don't really listen to it. I know I can create my own economy. I believe that. Do you guys believe that you can create your own income, that you can actually earn as much money as you want? Or do you think it depends on an economy? Whatever is at least talked about at on the news. Working on it. Okay, that's good stuff. I like that. That's a good progress. Zuzana, I hope you are here with us. I hope you can hear us. So you can answer it to yourself. If you're a little bit shy, that's okay. I understand it perfectly. So you can answer it to yourself, Zuzana. If you believe that I am. Okay, awesome. Good to hear you. So you can answer it to yourself, Susanna. Do you believe that you can create your own economy? Yes or no? And another question would be, do you think that you can create your own happiness? Do you believe that you actually create, or you are a creator of your own happiness? Yes or no? Think about it. Think about it, or put it in the chat box. It's going to be more interesting. So all these are beliefs. It really is. Depends what sort of beliefs we were exposed to, and some of those beliefs truly, yes, for happiness, love it. Okay, thank you guys. So those are beliefs, we don't even question that, but those beliefs are truly creating your results, right? The truth is, yes, you can. Absolutely, that is the answer for it. Believe me or not, if you don't believe me, you can question it. Honestly, I'm here. Hi, Elizabeth. Do we have Elizabeth here? Oh, hello,
Can you
Elizabeth.
hear me?
Welcome. Can't see,
Thank you.
but welcome.
Let's see.
Okay, fantastic. I'm gonna mute you, Elizabeth, for 1 second, but you can also answer in the chat box, okay? So I'm just gonna mute you for the background noise. So I'm asking if you can, or if you believe that you can create your own economy, that you can create your own happiness, and the truth is, yes, you can. That is the truth, because we can truly create whatever we want. However, you need to know what to do. You truly have to understand how to do it, because nothing happens by accident. Trust me, guys, nothing happens by accident. Okay, what about free will? Do you guys think we have free will? Let me know. I'm really interested about your beliefs. What do you think? That's another belief. Do you guys think that we have free will? That if you decide one day that, for example, okay, I hope something is gonna change for me, and I wish something is gonna change for me, and I can actually change, the course of my life just by accident. Do you guys believe we have free will? The truth about the free will is that free will is a bit of an illusion, and that is because 2 to 4% you choose, and 96 to 98% you don't. That's what it is, guys. This is not my story. These are the research done for a long time, so it's passed from one great mind in history to another, so that is actually scientific. 2 to 4% you choose your decisions, so your decision making process, and then 96 to 98% you don't. If you don't believe me, just ask yourself another question. Who likes ice cream? You can say yes in the chat box, no, whatever the answer is. But let's just imagine, who likes the ice cream? I love ice creams, right? So now, if you love ice creams, snap your finger and just say to yourself, I don't like it anymore. It's not going to happen. The same like with watching sports. Who loves watching sports? For those of you who love watching sports, again, snap your fingers and just say to yourself, I don't like watching sports anymore. It's not going to happen. Everything that we crave, desire, and act upon is controlled by your subconscious mind. Everything. Act upon. The last part is so important. You act upon your subconscious mind. Okay? So everything that you crave, desire, and act upon is controlled by your subconscious mind. It's actually controlled in 96 to 98% by your subconscious mind. So now that we've discussed that everything is controlled by your subconscious mind, and I hope that you all agree with me because there's no questions. Tim says, unless you take control of your consciousness. I like that. We can talk about it in a few seconds. Thank you, Tim. So if we says that these choices of ours, so whatever decisions we make, whatever results we create, and results, I mean income, the level of relationships, if you don't really think about it, if you don't question it, everything is done on autopilot. 96 to 98% of your results in your life is done on autopilot because of your beliefs in your subconscious mind. Again, if you don't even believe me after what we've spoken about, think about your life. Most of the time, you are earning certain amount of money, plus minus a few thousand perhaps, but you are earning same amount of money. Same like relationships. You perhaps are attracting similar type of people because these are your decisions. Your decisions when it comes to your love life. Your decisions when it comes to a job. Your decisions when it comes to anything in your life. So, okay, so Tim says we need to make a commitment, decision, and discipline ourselves to change. The ability to give ourselves a command and follow it. Absolutely. Absolutely. That is very true, but that's a solution. So hold on, Tim, don't jump ahead. So, for example, if we said that subconscious mind is literally controlling our results, and I hope you are with me still, what shapes our subconscious mind? What shapes our subconscious mind? So we said that our subconscious mind is controlling our choices, our desires, and so on. Beliefs are a part of our subconscious mind. We also said that, and that's true. What shapes our subconscious mind? I've already said it a few minutes ago, so if you guys listened, you had the answer a few minutes ago. So what shapes our subconscious mind? I'm going to give you a few seconds just to think about it, because I want to challenge everyone. Okay, I've got from Elizabeth, our thoughts, from Tim, our DNA, from Pat, beliefs and habits. Very, very interesting. I love it. I love it. Okay, this is all correct. Very good. But let's go deeper. What shapes our thoughts? Because our thoughts are also running on autopilot. Do you guys think that you had the same thoughts or thought pattern today that you had yesterday or the day before? Okay, some of you say yes, some of you say no. I'm guessing those of you who say no is because they are more conscious, which I love it. Our DNA, previous generations, and environment. Yes, Tim, this is perfect. That's exactly what the answer I was looking for. So what really creates or shapes our subconscious? Yes, part of it is our DNA. So when we are born, about 40% is DNA from our parents, so previous generations, and then 60% is our environment. So whatever we are exposed to, whatever opinions we are exposed to, this is what shapes our subconscious. And beliefs and habits, like Pat said, beliefs and habits are a part of our subconscious mind, but those are created after, when we are exposed to our environment. So a belief, what's a belief? We don't even question that. A belief is someone's opinion, and that opinion is repeated over and over and over again. And if we hear it from many people, from the society we grew up in, we take it as a belief, right? It's a part of our subconscious. We don't even question it. We just take that as a belief. So like you guys said, everything that we are exposed to creates our subconscious. So now when you look at this drawing, this is a stick person, and this stick person was drawn by Dr. Fleeman almost 100 years ago. And basically he said, in order to really change some of the results that we want to change, and this is something that may happen anywhere. It may happen at work, for example. So a manager wants to have a team that is more productive, right? So someone is managing a group of people and they say, right, okay, I'm not getting the results I want because people are not doing the work they can do, not quick enough. So sometimes people want to change that. And they also thought, okay, if we change people's behavior, then the results are going to change. Right? So that's why many companies send a group of people for trainings and they tell them what to do. They give them a script. The best example is salespeople. That's one of my favorite examples because I used to work in sales and I was actually sent to those trainings every few months. And you know, they send people for training, they give them the script and they say, this is what you have to do. So most companies, most people think if you change behavior, your results will change. However, they don't understand, most people don't understand that behavior is not the primary cause of the results. Behavior is the secondary cause of the results. So I behave certain way because, who knows? Why do I or anybody behaves certain way? Who knows? Why do we behave certain way? Why do you guys behave certain way? Some of you might be disciplined. Some of you might be procrastinators. Some of you might be at work on time. Some of you might be, you know, late, coming late. Why do we behave certain way? Tim says thinking, feelings, and actions. Yes, it starts from thinking, feelings, and action, but that's later on. But why, in general, do we behave in certain way? Why? Because what's controlling that? We said that at the beginning. Because of our paradigm. Okay, paradigm is a multitude of habits, right? Habits, ideas. So because of our subconscious programming, right? So once again, if you think about yourself or someone you know, it could be your friend, it could be your family member, it could be your colleague, anybody. Think about someone or yourself. We behave in certain way all the time. It's always patterns. And we behave in that way because of our programming, because of our subconscious programming. So we are programmed with beliefs, we're programmed with habits. Think about it, guys. You wake up and you have certain habits, right? You operate with. So now when we want to change the results, instead of pushing and changing our behavior, that does not going to work. It's not going to work. It's only going to work in a short period of time because that person is sent for a training for a day or 2 days and they're being told this is what you have to do. So the person comes back from the training, they kind of feel motivated and they think I'm gonna do it, and it only lasts for a few days or maybe a week or two because it's a forced behavior. Behavior is secondary part of the results. The primary part of the results is the subconscious mind. So what we have to do, we have to really understand what sort of beliefs, habits the person is operating with. Do you guys agree? Is it something that you thought about before, something that makes a little bit sense when you think about it now? Someone who is self-disciplined, someone who is making decisions quickly. Do you think that person is confident or is lacking confidence? Let me know in the chat box, please. Someone who makes the confident, absolutely confident. Yes, guys, thank you. A person who makes decisions quickly, they are confident. Why? Because they know what they want and also they know themselves. So they probably believe that they can accomplish something. Make the decisions quickly and then change them slowly. Absolutely, that's what Napoleon Hill said in his book, Think and Grow Rich. So all this, all that behavior is reflected by the belief in a subconscious mind. Watch people around you. Someone who, comes to work on time, who is very organized, who starts the day and literally prioritize everything. That person is very organized. That person is very self-disciplined. So it really has a huge impact on the results. So it's not just the behavior. It's not forced behavior. The behavior comes from what you are programmed with subconsciously, okay? So this is what's happening in reality, okay, inside of you, inside of every person. When you start studying this in depth, you're gonna actually understand not just yourself, but also people you work with. That's powerful. Imagine that you know exactly, you can predict what that person is going to do because you know there is a pattern in the behavior. You know that this is what they've done in the past, unless they are working on a change, unless they are working on change of a habit or change of a belief, that pattern will stay the same. Why? Because 96 to 98% we operate subconsciously on autopilot. Okay, so anybody has any questions so far? No, all good. Okay, so now basically what's the difference between conscious mind and subconscious mind? Because here is a stick person. So a stick person was sort of developed by Dr. Freeman in 1932 because he wanted us to understand how the mind works in a better way. So in order to understand how the mind works, we need to understand the stick person because that represents you and I. So the upper part is conscious mind, the lower part is subconscious. What's the difference between conscious mind and subconscious mind? Come on, guys, tell me. I'm so interested to hear your opinion. The conscious mind can make decisions. The subconscious cannot reject ideas. Perfect. Thank you so much, Tim. Tim is fantastic. Thank you, Tim. You could be my assistant. Okay, what else? What's the difference between conscious and subconscious? What's another difference between conscious mind and subconscious mind? Anything that comes to your mind now? So conscious mind, like Tim said, right? So it's definitely making decisions through a conscious thinking, right? So I need to think consciously how I'm going to make that decision, because if I don't think about it, I'm just going to go on autopilot. But when I think consciously, it's actually thinking consciously is creating, okay? Subconscious mind controls the vibration you are in. So subconscious mind is emotional mind, absolutely. Subconscious mind is emotional mind, so it controls the way you feel emotions. Conscious mind is your thinking mind, is your intellect. Your intellect. And now a huge part is when you are studying something. So you're studying books, you're studying information, you're going through university, you're gathering information from all sorts of sources, right? This is what we are conditioned to do. We gather information. All this is happening in your conscious mind. Your intellect gathers all the information. Okay, so also, as you can see, those little sticks here, those antennas, so we also have 5 sensory factors. Okay, this is how we are conditioned. We're conditioned from the little one to pay attention to the outside. That's also your conscious mind. So just imagine yourself as a child, or just remind yourself when you were a child that sometimes maybe you were daydreaming. What happened then, especially at school? What happened then? Your teacher said, come on, pay attention, listen to what I'm saying, right? Or you were, little child and your mom was taking care of you, your dad was taking care of you. What did they say? Watch out, be careful where you're going, be careful where you're walking, because they wanted to protect you. Listen to what I'm saying, you know. So all this, it was a conditioning at a very early age. That's why we are actually conditioned to pay attention to the outside. We are also conditioned to gather information, because going through a schooling system, we've been conditioned that we have to learn something, memorize it, pass an exam, we got a degree, and this is how we are judged, or this is what gives me a ticket to a better job, and so on. This is how we've been conditioned. So that's why it's so easy for us to gather information. And the same right now. I hope, guys, you're still with me, you're not falling asleep. I know some of you are almost holding not to yawning, so you're fine. So stay with me. We're kind of, you know, 80% is done. I really want you to get a grasp of this information, because I promise you it's absolutely fascinating when you think about it. So stay with me for a few more minutes. So this is what we are conditioned to. We gather information. Now, when you feel perhaps stuck, or maybe you're not sure what to do with your life, with your career, what happens next? Most people, they go and sign up for another course. They go back to university. They think, well, maybe I should, you know, just study more. I need to study more, because that's what we are conditioned to. We're conditioned to gather information constantly, okay? But that is not gonna change your results, because that information stays in your conscious mind. Remember, guys, what's actually controlling your behavior is your subconscious programming. That is controlling your behavior. Your subconscious programming, which is your subconscious mind, is 95% of the mind. 5%, which is your conscious mind, your intellect, is telling you one day, hey, Zuzana, I'm sure you can do better. And you probably have that inner voice in yourself, and you say, I know I can do better. I can feel it, you know, I've studied so much, you know, I've covered all this information. I know this information. I know it's true. That inner voice is telling you, I know I can do better. And then what happens? The results are still the same. The behavior is still the same. That can be very frustrating. Why? Because the information you study through reading books, through participating, you know, at school teachings, or perhaps work trainings, that is just gathering information. That information is not internalized, because there is a process to internalize that information. And that's a process of repetition, right? So when you repeat a certain amount of information over and over and over again, that's the only thing that gets it into your subconscious mind. This is how, as you may remember, guys, we just spoke about it before, this is how you formed your belief system. Certain information was repeated over and over and over and over again, and through a repetition, it got into your subconscious mind as a part of you. And now, if you want to change it, reading the book once is not enough. Doing something once, you think you know it. You think you know it. Your intellect is very deceiving you, because you think you know it, and you think, if I know it, I should be doing it. Not true. Knowing and doing has a huge gap between. Just because you know something doesn't mean you're going to be doing it. The doing part is the subconscious mind. The knowing part is the conscious mind. So your 5% of the mind is against the 95% of your subconscious programming. That's why change is so difficult. That's why when you want to change your results, when you want to earn more money, when you want to perhaps find or create more meaningful relationships, you're still operating on autopilot. You're still going to make decisions based on your subconscious mind. Because in order to make that change, you have to use a process that will create that change. Nothing is going to happen overnight. Absolutely nothing. Nothing is going to happen from reading a book once. Absolutely nothing. If you read something, if you think that book is awesome, read it over and over again for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, unless your behavior and until your behavior will start changing. When your behavior starts changing, you will then know that you have changed some of your subconscious programming. That's the only way. If you still behave the same way, if you're still a little bit shy away from certain decision, if you still don't make certain steps, don't take certain risks, it means you still operate with the same limiting beliefs. That is absolutely huge. I really want you to pay attention to that and remember that. You know, as that little stick person, so on the right-hand side, right next to the stick person, you can see 5 sensory factors. This is what we use more of the time. But those factors are not giving you the results you want because we have 6 mental faculties, absolutely powerful mental faculties that we were born with. Reason, will, memory, perception, imagination, intuition. Marvelous tools. How often do we use them? How often do we actually use them to create what we want? Imagination, for example, one of the most marvelous faculties. And how many people, how many of you is using your imagination to imagine things that you want? Most of us is using imagination or thinking, because reason is thinking, and we think about stuff we don't want. And you go through the day, and you go through your week, and you go through the year, and you think about stuff you don't want in your life. You think about the job you don't like. You think about your bank account that you're not happy with. You are thinking about stuff you don't want. So what happens next? You get what you think about, so you get more of the stuff you don't want. And that's how you behave based on your programming, your beliefs. Your body is the instrument of your mind. So whatever is going on in your mind, your body acts upon. And then you create the results. The best way, the quickest way to see what sort of programming or some of the programmings you have in your subconscious mind, observe your results. How much do you earn, or how much have you earned most in your life? That amount of money is where you are programmed when it comes to income. What sort of relationships you have with your friends, family, your other half. This is what you are programmed with when it comes to relationships. What about your health? Are you healthy? Are you active? Do you have a good diet or bad diet? This is how you see yourself. This is how you're programmed about yourself. And that programming makes your choices when it comes to food or exercise. Because this is what you're programmed with. First, it starts in your mind, then the body just follows. So you can't force your behavior and then expect the results to change. You have to go to the primary cause of your results. You have to understand what sort of subconscious programming you have. And then through a process of change, you can make it happen. And then you create permanent results. The top picture of that cycle, as you can see, says present results. Then that which causes your thoughts, so creates your thoughts. This is where you are emotionally involved with your thoughts, and this is how you act. So that first top cycle represents what most people do. 90 to 95% of population, this is how they act. They observe current results. Economy is bad, I don't like my work, I don't have enough money. And then I think I cannot do what I want. I cannot travel as much as I want. I cannot buy this. I cannot invest in myself because I don't have the money. And that then makes me feel really bad because I get emotionally involved with those negative thoughts. And that then reflects my behavior. And it's a vicious circle. That's what's so wrong. It's backwards. Majority of people observe current results, and this is how they think and they feel and they act. Very backwards. What we should do is the bottom cycle, and it says first you have to decide what is that you want. Think about it. Think about what is that you want. Don't limit yourself with lack of time, lack of money. Don't do that. Just think about what is that you want and get emotionally involved with what you want. Think about it. Feel good, and then you're going to act accordingly. So act because you're thinking about your goal. Don't act because you're fearing something, because fear controls your action. Just act based on your goal, on your dream, on your desire, and then you're going to produce the results you want. The bottom cycle is what should be done, okay? And that is huge, absolutely huge. Any questions so far, guys? Because we're going to be wrapping up in a few minutes. All good? Okay. So I'm going to pretty much wrap it up with a quote from my favorite guy. And he basically says, if we keep doing the same things over and over and over again, expecting different results, that is a definition of insanity. And that's actually what majority people do. This, December is a fantastic time to actually observe it. Listen to your friends. This month or next month, they're going to be saying, I hope 2018 is going to be a really good year. I hope something's going to change for me. I wish something's going to change for me. Majority of people is going to be doing that. If you hear them saying that, ask them, what are you going to do to make that change? Nothing happens without action. We can't just, do the same things over and over again. So act the same thing over and over again. Think about the same stuff over and over again and expect different results. We can't do that. That's insanity. That's insane. You got to change your behavior. You have to change your thinking. You got to make some change in you first, so then your results can change. Not the other way around. It's not going to happen. If you're just hoping or wishing for something to change, I can tell you right now, and I can save you some time and some disappointment and frustration, nothing's going to change. Hoping and wishing is not good enough. It does not create that change. You need to behave differently. You perhaps have to even take a logical steps. You have to go after something that you haven't done before. If you want to have something you've never had, so income or maybe different relationship, you almost have to act against your logic, because your logic is based on your beliefs and habits. Your logic is what it got you here where you are now, producing the results you're producing now. So if you want to change the results, you got to really get out of your comfort zone. You have to feel uncomfortable. And making those changes, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to feel scared. You're going to feel uncomfortable. You're almost going to feel sick to your stomach. Feeling sick to your stomach is actually a good feeling, because you know that you're going outside of your comfort zone. And really, if you don't do that, if you just stay in your comfort zone, you're going to create the same results. Feeling comfortable and feeling safe is not good for your growth. It makes you feel good because you feel safe, and that's what your brain wants you to do. Your brain wants you to keep safe. Your brain wants to protect you, but that being safe is not contributing to your growth, and that will not contribute to change of your results. Okay, so that's really, really important to realize that. And in order for you to change anything or shift anything in your life, you have to decide. You truly have to make a decision. Once you make that decision, first of all, it's a mental decision. Once you make a decision, I want to change. I want to do something huge in my life. I want to live my life. I don't want to just, tiptoe through my life hoping to make it safe to death. I mean, that's what most people do. It's better to be safe than sorry. What if I fail? What if it doesn't work out? What if, people laugh at me? That's just rubbish. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. If you're doing this, stop it, because you're living in a limiting belief system. You gotta stop it, Failing is a part of success. Failing is a great lesson. So when you're making a decision, you got to focus on your goal. Focus on your goal. When you make a decision, don't let the fear to drive it. Don't let the fear to control your decision. Most people make a decision to say, well, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough time. They allow that limitation to control their decisions. You cannot do it. In order for you to make a decision that's going to create the life you want, you have to start from what you want. If you want to change, if you want something more, you got to make that decision first. When you make that decision and when you committed to it, you're going to do everything or anything that's required for it to make it happen. And when you do, things will be changing. And you will live the life you want. You'll create the life you want. You'll create the financial freedom if that's what you want. You will create time freedom if that's what you want. It is possible. It's possible, and it's happening. I've done it myself. I've observed so many people doing this as well. It is scary. It is uncomfortable. But that is the only way for you to have that freedom, time and money freedom, and live the life you want. It's gonna make you feel uncomfortable. You're gonna be scared. But when you study you, when you really understand how you work, what you are capable of doing, and that you're actually right now using perhaps 10% of your true potential, you're gonna know that you're about to create something huge, but you have to give yourself permission to do that. Give yourself the permission to dream big. Make that decision. Once again, for those of you who are watching this live or listening this as a recording, if you don't know where to start, if you're not sure what to do, once you make a decision, I would always say get someone to help you with that. You know, get a professional help. If you're asking for help, you're just ready for more. You're ready for more, to be more, have more, give more. You know, you're just ready for more. If you try to do it yourself, it will take you longer. For sure, because change is not easy, and any change in your results externally requires change internally. That is the truth. You cannot change the external results unless you change internal beliefs or habits. It's just not going to happen. Okay, so really commit yourself to that. Make a decision. If you don't know where to start, for those of you know that I facilitate this amazing program that's 6 months, fully supported, designed to help you to go through that change, to help you to really discover what is your passion, to help you to really know what to do, how to understand fear, you know, how to push through your comfort zone. And once you do that, you know, you discover something in you that you didn't even know was there. Once you use that process once or twice, you're gonna know that that's a part of growth. That's a part of growth. We have to keep going forward. If we don't keep going forward, if we don't grow, we go backwards. 100%. Nothing is idle. Nothing rests. Everything moves around you. The world is progressing. Everything is progressing. If you're not progressing with your thinking, understand yourself, you're going backwards. You cannot do that. Okay, so make that decision. Everything starts from a decision. Okay, thank you so much for listening. Does anybody have any questions so far or any comments? No, all good? Okay, Elizabeth said, decision has been taken and now I am 3 days to my freedom. Awesome, well done, Elizabeth. Tim said, you don't fail until you give up. I love that, and it's so true. Absolutely. Giving up is the only failure. Absolutely. Failing otherwise is learning lessons. You know, all the successful people, if you study the great minds in history, everybody failed most of the time. They are famous for whatever they are because they succeeded at one time, you know. But if they gave up, they would never got to where they got right now, right? So a failing is a part of process. Giving up is a failure. Failing is a great lesson. Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone, to be here with me. And this recording is available for you. If you would like to get a copy of that, please let me know. Otherwise, you know how to contact me as well. If you have any comments or questions, you can always contact me via my email. So it's info@mindsetpg.com. You can also go on my website, successfulmindsetforlife.com, to get more information. And once again, thank you so much. It's been my pleasure to be here with you, to have you here online, and have a wonderful rest of the week. And thank you so much. Bye now.